Hey guys, welcome to Thorough Capping. This is Dave. It's 11:12 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to do Saratoga for tomorrow. And I'm got my fingers crossed that it stays dry. There's been a lot of craziness there. Horses breaking down, um, races being taken off the turf, and I handicapped it as if they were going to be running on the grass. They did run their stakes races on the grass today, and I don't think there's supposed to be any rain from then till tomorrow. So again, fingers crossed. If they do take races off the turf, then you can disregard this information here. But we started out with race number 3, race 1 and 2, and I want to just make a point to mention I did get an email from, I'm not going to say the name, but he or she, I don't know, asked me, what's the point if you're not playing races like this one here? Well, I mean, and that was the whole email right there. I don't know what you mean by what the point is. The point is you should be picking and choosing your spots anyway when you're handicapping. Normally, my normal regular that I've gotten away from routine was for a long time get the daily racing form and look at every single track that's running that day and hand pick my races that I want to play out of them and then handicap those races. Lately, what I've been doing is I've been doing just whole cards rather than doing it that way. But I do promise if I get back to doing that again, which could be possible in the near future, but I mean, they charge like $12 now to download the whole daily racing form. Plus, I'm in tune with the BrizNet past performances now. Not that it's going to that big of a deal to switch, but at the same time, it's a lot cheaper to download a dollar card than to download $12.99 for the whole entire electronic version of the form. But back to what I was saying, you guys should be picking and choosing your spots anyway. Even if you handicap the race, if you don't like the outcome when you're finished, or while you're handicapping it, you feel like that you're just throwing stuff up against the wall or throwing darts. Just stop what you're doing and move on to the next race. Or once it's all done and your race is coming up and you're seeing you're getting no value, don't try to move on to other horses and all of a sudden try to find reasoning why they fit. Just move on, wait for the next race. Okay? So that's the answer to that question. There's no rhyme or reason why, unless I was a pedigree handicapper, or you as well, or really, really was dialed into workouts and patterns and watching workout videos and the replays and all that kind of stuff. There's no rhyme or reason why I should be attempting to handicap this race right here. And the second race as well. Unless, of course, I'm playing a multi-leg wager, like the pick 5 or the pick 4, and these races are in. I would have to either try to make the best out of them or play a boatload of horses from that race and blow the ticket up. So what I did was I started with race number 3. Race number 3 was a 1 mile on their crazy 1 mile oval here. It's really a 1.5 turns. And it's a $50,000 starter allowance. And I'm going to go to the grid here. In race number 3, one of the 4 selections, you keep an eye out for value. Okay, and that's the 1 horse, 6-1 morning line. The other 3, the 2, the 3, and the 6. The 6 can go either way, but I'm thinking with a 7 horse field, you may not get 9-2 value or better unless the public loads up on this 2 and the 3. But the 2 is indeed my top play in this race at a 3-1 morning line. 2-6-3-1 in race number 3. Okay, so you guys can see what's going on over here and what's going on over here, and then I'll move on. Race number 4, same thing, guys. The 1 horse, it looks like the value of the race out of the 4 that I have on top. I tossed the 4 horse. Race number 4 is 6.5 furlongs on the main track. So it was pretty cut and dry, the handicapping. I mean, I was pulling a lot of figures from 6 furlong races. But as I said before, what you do with one, you got to do with all. Okay, so for example, if you pulled I'm pulling 6 furlong figures from these horses here. When you do the one horse, you got to pull it from the 6 furlong call, not the 7 furlong call. Because at the same time, again, you want to try to even the playing field a little bit for this particular horse, as well as the other horses. If pulling from the 7 furlong call would it boosted this up and made it a bet, let's say for example he won the race, now you're not evening the playing field for the rest of these horses that you're pulling from 6 furlong. So try to keep it as even keel as possible when you're pulling your target ratings, and then your ability ratings. Try the best you can if you're able to pull your ability ratings from today's distance. So today's a 6.5 furlong race. If you can't find a 6.5 furlong race, try to find a 6 furlong race where the horse was moving on the stretch. Okay, was gaining ground and not losing ground. That's the best advice I can give. And again, I'm focusing on some of this stuff because this is a lot of questions I'm getting now in the Discord and through email. But let's take a look at race 4. Race 4, 5 horse is somewhat of a standout here at 4-1 morning line over on the matrix side of the grid. But yet he's second in my TC rating. But I did give the top nod to the 5 because of this over here. I went 5, 6, 3, and 1 in this race. Now the one horse is the horse of value out of them 4 at 6-1 morning line. He is dropping in class, the only one in the race dropping in class, and he does have a trainer mentioned, so it's possible. Race number 6. Race number 6 was a large field, and I had to eliminate some of the horses that I tossed out. I had to I couldn't fit them on here because there was a 1A in there, and then there was 11 and a 12 and everything. So what I did was I just put down the horses that I kept, and we'll take a look at that, see what I mean. This is another maiden race, but what I did was wait, was this? No, I'm sorry. This is race 5. I scratched this race. Race number 6. Yeah, see there's a 1A in there. I tossed out the 5, 6, 7. This is also another maiden race, but I thought there was enough information to be able to do what I needed to do. I did toss them first time starters, so you know I could potentially hurt myself there. But at the same time, I figured there's enough going on with the rest of the horses to be able to handicap this race. So the 1A looks like a standout to me if he's not a scratch. In my opinion, being this is on the main track, if they're going to scratch the 1 or the 1A, I mean, they have different jockeys here, so that they could both potentially run. But I would think that on the main track, they would scratch the solid 1 and not the 1A. Okay, the 1A is my choice in this race. 9-2 morning line. Because of the number of runners in this race, we may very well get that 9-2, unless the public sees what I see in this horse. Top point getter, 1A, 9, 2, and 10 in that order. You know, we also have, you know, all 4 of these horses could potentially show value. I'm not going to play all 4 of them, but I have a feeling if one of these 2 show value, the other one's not. I mean, let's look where the morning line is in this race. Morning line favorite. There may not really be a heavy favorite. There's not. The 11 horse, and I have the 11 tossed. First time starter. So we'll see what happens there. 1A, 9, 2, 10. Race number 7. Race number 7, there were 2 also eligibles. I tossed them out, 11 and the 12. Again, we have 3 horses here that I like that could potentially show that 9-2 or better value. It's pretty scattered around here. We have the 10 is the target and ability. My top play, based on the ratings, was the 94 with the 8 horse. However, I'm not against leaning toward the 10, even though I have the 10 listed fourth. But I guess I was looking at ratings more when I was putting down my final ranking here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this ranking here because of my loyalty to this combination right here, target and ability. And I'm just going to keep. I'm going to put the 10 on top. And I know it's crazy. I'm moving the 10 from the fourth spot all the way to the first spot. But when I look at the 5 to 2, I'm going to put the 5 to 2 on top. If anything, I would put one of the other targets, the 4 or the 6. But I'm going to go 10, 8, 6, 4. And look for the upset in that race. We have 3 potential value horses, the 4, 6, and the 10. All morning line 6 to 1s. And live and die by that. Race number 8, only 6 horses in this race. Race 8 is a non-graded stakes. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. A little bit of a crazy race, handicapping wise, because there were some horses that I had to pull figures from 5 furlongs. And again, since I did this horse from 5 furlongs, I pulled the targets from the 5 furlong marks on the other horses as well. Let's take a look here. The 6 is the heavy favorite, morning line 4 to 5. The 6 is my top point getter. However, the 2 and the 3 are both tied, and the 5 at 86 and 86 for the target and ability. The 2 horse is showing the top value out of these 4, 10 to 1 morning line. So could this be an upset race? Possibly. I mean, there's not enough going on here compared to the rest of them. But at the same time, nothing's written in stone here necessarily with the TC ratings. But I have them rated 6, 5, 4, and 2. Okay, race number 9. Race 9 is a 6.5 furlong dirt, grade 2, Saratoga special. 7 horses. Target 2, ability 1. I didn't finish. I just got interrupted here. Let me finish painting this grid out real quick. We'll give the 95 a nod. 92 on the target Briz. And then we'll go with the 90.5. And then we have a 98 and a 97.5 here. Now when we take a look at these, 3 horses coming off of moves, and again, they weren't necessarily had to be turn moves. I never changed the title of that column. Doesn't matter. The top point getter here is the 1 horse. 1 horse is the ability horse coming off the best fraction. 94-1, 92-2, 91-4, and the 7-92. So 1, 4, 6, 7 are the order of plays with the 7 horse 8 to 1 morning line showing the potential value. And then last 2, 10th race. Is that the right race? Yeah, there's a 9th right there. Did I mix them up? 8th. 1, 4, 6, 7. Alright, we're on the 10th. I don't know. I messed up somewhere. Maybe I didn't show you one of the races on here. But race number 10. And by the way, that was the feature race here. Let's take a quick look at it. Race 9 is the 4-star Dave, grade 1. That's the one where I said the 1 horse figures top for me. 3 to 1 morning line. We do have 2 heavy favorites in here. 2 well-known runners. Annapolis and Casa Creed. And looks like we're going to be trying to beat. We may get some decent value on Emmanuel with those 2 horses. We may see 9 to 2 or better on that 1 horse figuring tops for us in that race. Now we're at race number 10. Race 10, 50,000 starter at a mile. 10 horses, full field. 3 of our selections, 6 to 1, 8 to 1, 9 to 2, potentially could hold the value. My top point getter here was the 7-2 morning line with the 5. I have 5, 4, 6, 2 in race number 10. And then finally, race number 11. 6 horse makes a good showing here on the matrix side. 4-1 morning line. Again, a larger field. Depending on what the public sees, may get better than 4-1 on that horse. And I like the 6, 1, 2, and the 7. One horse is also showing possible value along with the 7. Both coming off tied for the top final fraction last out. And this race, distance-wise, is a mile. So, no, I'm sorry. This is a mile and 16th, I think, yes. Mile 16th on the turf. So this could favor late speed. So you may see something out of that 1 or the 7. Potentially in the money at least. Alright, so that's my analysis of Saratoga tomorrow on August 12th. Alright, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.